Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are taking on a conflict that, well, it feels like a collision between ancient history and modern warfare. We're talking about the escalating and really deadly border conflict between Thailand and Cambodia. It's a dispute with roots in maps drawn over a century ago.
Right.
But now it's being fought with rocket launchers, artillery, and, even drones. It has just suddenly erupted into some of the fiercest fighting Southeast Asia has seen in years.
It is a genuinely volatile and complex topic.
Yeah.
For anyone trying to process the headlines right now,
Yeah.
the sources are coming in so fast, they're often contradictory, and sometimes, well, highly partisan.
Yeah, information overload.
Exactly. Trying to track the blame, who fired first, who violated which agreement. It's a real challenge.
Absolutely. So our mission today is clarity. We are diving deep into the recent source material, detailing these deadly clashes to give you a shortcut, a way to understand the critical geopolitical significance of this escalation. We're going to focus specifically on what shattered that previous ceasefire, what the immediate human cost is, and why the political rhetoric from both sides is just so uncompromising.
And understanding that significance is paramount. This isn't just some localized squabble. I mean, you have two major regional players, both critical to the stability of ASEAN.
Right, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations.
And engaging in cross-border military actions that displace hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah.
The reverberations, they affect trade, stability, diplomacy, really across the entire region.
Okay, let's unpack this then, starting with the immediate crisis. We need to establish the sheer brutality and intensity of this current flare-up. The sources are calling it the fiercest fighting since a 5-day conflict back in July.
And that phrase, fiercest fighting, that's a major red flag for analysts.
It's not just rhetoric.
No, not at all. It signifies a profound breakdown in the rules of engagement and the scale of military mobilization. This isn't just a few warning shots across the border. This is a sustained, devastating conflict.
And the casualty numbers are a stark indicator of that. The severity, particularly the toll on civilians. The Cambodian side has reported 7 civilians killed.
7. And another 20 wounded.
Exactly. And on the Thai side, the confirmed losses include 3 Thai soldiers. That just immediately tells you that military action is spilling directly into populated areas.
It does, and that's the very definition of escalation. The nature of the fighting is clearly shifted. When you start seeing civilian casualties at this rate, it means either military assets are being placed very close to civilian infrastructure, or
the targeting is less discriminate than they claim.
Precisely. It implies a fundamental change in military actions since that previous July conflict.
And adding to that concern is the conflict's, its geographical expansion. The fighting hasn't stayed in the usual flashpoint.
Wow.
On Tuesday morning, the situation spread, forcing the Thai Navy to announce they were taking action to expel Cambodian forces who they claimed were encroaching on Thai territory in Trat province.
Now, that is a critically important detail, a geographical detail that you really need to key into.
Why Trat?
Because Trat province is far south. It's down on the Gulf of Thailand coast, well outside the typical contested areas near those historic temples further inland.
So what's the implication of that? Is this signaling a new strategic theater?
It certainly suggests that the issue isn't localized to just one disputed landmark. I mean, when the conflict spreads hundreds of miles to a new area, especially one touching the coast, it implies a fundamental decision has been made.
By one or both sides.
Right. To open a new front. Potentially threatening coastal shipping, regional trade routes. And it certainly signals that this instability is impacting wide swaths of that whole 500-mile border, not just a few isolated spots.
That sets the stage perfectly for the political standoff, because with an expanding conflict and rising casualties, you would expect some kind of diplomatic scramble, right?
A cooling-off period, at least.
But the rhetoric coming from both capitals is just absolutely hardline. There's no immediate willingness to de-escalate. And we need to present this with, strict impartiality.
Indeed. Both governments are using that classic conflict framing, claiming military action is purely a defensive response to foreign aggression.
So let's start with Cambodia. You have the powerful Senate president and former prime minister, Hun Sen. He's still a huge force in the country, even after handing the premiership to his son.
An immense force, yes.
And he used his platform to frame the Cambodian action as purely reactive. He said they retaliated after being patient for more than 24 hours. His message was clear. Cambodia needs peace, but Cambodia is compelled to counterattack to defend our territory.
That phrase, after being patient, is such a clear rhetorical attempt to establish moral authority, both at home and internationally.
Positioning them as the reluctant actor.
Exactly. The responsible actor forced into self-defense. He claimed they have strong bunkers and weapons that would give Cambodia an advantage. That acts as both a deterrent and a confidence booster for the domestic audience.
So is that claim about strong bunkers and weapons a genuine military assessment, or is that primarily a propaganda move?
Almost certainly both, but I'd say primarily political.
Yeah.
Military analysts will always assess capabilities, but broadcasting them publicly like that's designed to signal resolve, especially when you're facing a larger neighbor like Thailand. It tells your population, we can hold the line.
Okay, now let's look at the Thai response. It's equally, if not more, uncompromising. The Defense Ministry spokesperson, Adm Surasant Kongsiri, stressed that Thailand was determined to defend its sovereignty.
And territorial integrity and therefore military measures must be taken as necessary. Standard language.
Right, but then you get the really defining statement, and it comes from the Thai Prime Minister, Anutin Charnvirakul.
Yes, his stance is one of absolute refusal to meet on equal footing right now.
He just laid down the marker. There will be no talks. If the fighting is to end, Cambodia must do what Thailand has set.
And that is the pivotal piece of political hardball here. He is demanding preconditions for any dialogue.
What does that mean in practical terms?
Well, in conflict resolution, demanding preconditions means you are not just asking to go back to how things were before the fighting. He's demanding that Cambodia concedes on specific, though unspecified, Thai demands before Thailand will even sit at the table.
That distinction is just crucial, isn't it? Demanding preconditions basically guarantees two things.
That talks won't happen soon.
And that the fighting will likely continue until one side is, well, severely weakened or forced to give in. It's a strategy designed to secure a political victory through military means.
And that's where we have to pivot. Given this extreme political inflexibility, we have to look at the history and see how a century-old map and a recently brokered truce led us right back here.
Okay, let's connect this high-stakes political rhetoric to the deep roots of the issue. This 500-mile border dispute it's a classic geopolitical time bomb.
It is. The sources confirm the dispute dates back more than a century to the colonial era. France, which occupied Cambodia until 1953, was responsible for the initial mapping of that border.
And we're still seeing the consequences.
It's a textbook case of a colonial power drawing lines without regard for local populations or geography, creating perpetual friction.
And conflict has erupted repeatedly over the years. Most recently, and significantly, just last July. That 5-day conflict killed at least 48 people and displaced, a staggering 300,000 people.
A major crisis. It required serious international intervention to stop.
And this is where we have to pause on a curious detail in the source material. The fact that the ceasefire was eventually brokered by Trump.
It is a startling detail.
So why would a U.S. president be the intermediary in this specific Southeast Asian border dispute?
Well, the quick answer is geopolitical interest and leverage. The U.S. has long engaged in strategic maneuvering in the region to counter other major powers. Brokering a high-profile truce like this, even a temporary one,
it allows the U.S. to demonstrate influence?
To demonstrate influence, cement relationships, absolutely. But, and this is the key part, a truce brokered under those conditions can often be inherently unstable. It might prioritize a quick diplomatic win for the broker rather than addressing the structural historical issues between the two nations.
And that instability played out almost immediately. That ceasefire proved incredibly precarious, which is why we're here now. Both sides immediately started accusing the other of violation.
Right, and the official collapse point came last month when Thailand decided to suspend the deal entirely. The trigger was specific and very serious. Thailand accused Cambodia of laying fresh landmines along the border.
And one of them wounded a Thai soldier.
Yes, that's the perfect trigger for suspending a truce, isn't it? Landmines are a clear, undeniable breach of humanitarian agreements. Once that foundation was removed, the violence just spiraled almost instantly.
An initial exchange of fire left a Cambodian civilian killed and 3 others wounded, with both sides, predictably, claiming the other opened fire first.
And this sequence provides the crucial linkage for you, the listener. We've gone from the historical why a disputed colonial map to the immediate how the quick collapse of an internationally brokered truce over a critical military accusation. Landmines. It just emphasizes how fragile these agreements are when you have deep historical grievances coupled with daily actions that completely violate trust.
And the result of that collapse, as we noted at the top, is a massive and escalating humanitarian toll. The numbers associated with displacement they're difficult to truly grasp.
They are shocking. And this is where the conversation needs to slow down a bit just to reflect on the gravity of the impact here.
On the Thai side, the military is reporting more than 125,000 people have been forced into temporary evacuation shelters.
125,000 people.
Across 4 provinces, Ubon Ratchathani, Sisaket, Surin, and Buriram. I mean, when you think about that many people instantly uprooted, it is a crisis of incredible scale.
And Cambodia is facing similar devastating figures. They're reporting more than 21,000 people have been evacuated across 3 of their provinces.
So we're talking about, what, well over 146,000 people instantly made refugees in their own country because of cross-border shelling?
That scale of human cost should be the defining factor in political decisions yet. The rhetoric suggests otherwise.
And beyond the sheer numbers of displaced people, the military tactics being used show a significant leap in firepower. This isn't just skirmishing with small arms anymore.
No, the accusations detail the use of highly destructive modern hardware. Thailand is claiming that Cambodia is using rocket launchers, bomb-dropping drones, and heavy artillery on Thai positions.
They specifically noted that shells hit 2 civilian homes in Sakeo province.
And Cambodia is leveling equally harsh claims of renewed aggression. They're accusing Thailand of firing into civilian areas, which they claim destroyed infrastructure, damaged temples, cultural property,
human heritage, and disrupted essential public services.
These targeting claims are critical. If true, the use of modern tech like bomb-dropping drones, combined with alleged destruction of temples of cultural property, it signals a terrifying escalation. It suggests a willingness to use devastating force and inflict permanent damage to both civilian life and cultural identity.
So what does this all mean for the immediate future? I mean, given the enormous concrete human costs, the dead civilians, the 146,000 displaced, why are the political leaders actively doubling down on these uncompromising hard lines?
It's that tension, isn't it? Between political ambition and humanitarian reality. The sheer numbers of displaced people represent a massive failure of regional diplomacy and governance.
Yet the political positions are completely unmoving.
Completely. Both sides have staked their legitimacy on defending sovereignty at all costs. This makes Adm Charnvirakul's demand that Cambodia must first meet Thai terms an almost insurmountable hurdle for de-escalation. Conceding now would be political suicide for whoever makes that first move.
Which brings us back to the core challenge we set out to analyze. The fierce intensity of the fighting, the absolute lack of willingness to negotiate from the Thai Prime Minister, and this entire situation cast under the historical shadow of a century-old colonially drawn map.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this conflict really underscores one of the most persistent and brutal post-colonial problems globally.
Artificial borders.
Artificial borders. Drawn by external powers without local consensus, they continue to fuel cycles of violence and massive displacement long after the colonial power has gone. The current fighting isn't just a news cycle. It's the brutal, ongoing reality of a 500-mile problem that was never truly resolved.
It's historical inertia just driving present-day tragedy. So, given that a significant ceasefire deal, even one brokered by a major global power like the U.S., proved so precarious and collapsed over issues like alleged landmines, we have to leave you with this final thought to consider. What mechanism, if any, could possibly meet Prime Minister Charnvirakul's absolute demand that Cambodia must first meet Thai terms for talks to even begin without inevitably resorting to further prolonged military action?
If you think about it, based on those political hard lines that have been drawn, the diplomatic path seems entirely blocked right now, which leaves the military option as really the only one on the table.
Thank you for diving deep with us. We'll keep tracking the analysis of this critical situation.